What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at the wildest wrestling news and stories you need to know, including was Vince McMahon at Saturday night's main event? WWE fans dislike bomb John Cena's final ever match? WWE fans almost riot after John Cena's loss? We're in a new era of WWE apparently. Fans caught Bayley being unhappy. Brock Lesnar's final ever opponent has been leaked. Cody Rhodes cries after John Cena's retirement, a legend not retiring, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at was Vince McMahon at Saturday night's main event? Now, our top story looks at John Cena's final match, specifically speculation that Vince McMahon was in attendance at the show. Due to Vince McMahon being featured in the Cena tribute video at the end of the show, and fans also caught John Cena giving a nice little smile when he saw Vince's face, it led to rumors that McMahon could have been backstage or in the crowd. However, it's now been reported that McMahon nor US President Donald Trump were in attendance. Vince McMahon nor Donald Trump were at tonight's WWE Saturday Night main event. Robert F. Kennedy was at the show. A number of wrestlers were brought in specifically to see the final match. Randy Orton was not, as he's overseas promoting the Royal Rumble. A footage of McMahon in the tribute video was archive footage from around 2010, and it's still somewhat of a surprise that they actually featured McMahon in any capacity in the retirement tour. Now, it is still possible that Cena asks for Vince McMahon to be in attendance at the Hall of Fame induction, and as things stand, this is still rumored to be next year during WrestleMania weekend. In relation to Robert F. Kennedy, it was somewhat of a surprise that he didn't feature on camera last night. But with that being said, the crowd last night was extremely hostile, and WWE could have been looking at a situation where Kennedy was booed, which could have caused him grave embarrassment. Not more embarrassing than that finish though. Orton not being present continues to disappoint fans. The history between Randy Orton and John Cena is well documented, and the fact that Orton was instead booked on a WWE-tied commitment in Saudi Arabia instead of the show highlights how WWE sees him in 2025. It definitely would have been great as John Cena was taking off his armbands that you would see Randy's reaction right at ringside. Next up, WWE fans dislike bomb John Cena's final ever match. This is one of the first vocal instances where fans have really revolted against the head booker Triple H on live television. Fans were absolutely furious that WWE decided to have John Cena tap out to Gunther, and when Triple H appeared on screen to close out the show, the boos were thunderous. This somewhat took away from Cena's moment, as all anyone could focus on was the controversial end to Cena's iconic career. Now, surprisingly, Triple H still appeared on the post-show, and to be fair, that took guts for that crowd, as a chant almost drowned him out. Triple H was met with chants of AEW, "We want Vince," and "You effed up." Triple H traditionally has a crowd on his side, so the fact that he received such hostility shows all the blame is falling on him. Triple H even addressed the boos numerous times, and even at one point said, "Well, that's disappointing, I thought you'd be louder." But now fans have taken to YouTube to voice their opinion on the match itself, and the dislikes currently speak for themselves, as at the time of this video, WWE's highlight reel of the match has obtained over 26,000 dislikes on their official YouTube channel. By the end of the year, due to how much mainstream attention this is getting, this could be the most disliked video in WWE history. Actually, no one could top Jay, right? Next up, Triple H defends his booking. Triple H was quick to defend his booking on the post-show last night, and as expected, the game basically implied that it was John Cena's call to tap out clean to Gunther. There are time-honored traditions in our business, and there are ways you handle your business. John has said the right thing his entire career, that it's all about leaving this place better than you found it. There's no way for people to understand that in the moment. You do what is right for business. You do what is right for the industry. John has done that his entire career. I'm going to do that for my entire career. Now, the game continued by saying, if you want to talk behind the scenes, he will put over somebody on the way out. He will leave this better than he found it. He will go in the ring and make somebody on his way out. That's what John does and has always done. I know people will criticize this and look at it and talk about this moment right here. I've got big shoulders. I'm good with it. And the majority of fans did expect Cena to lose to Gunther last night, but virtually nobody expected Cena to tap out. Cena is the man who prides himself on being the man who never gives up, and Cena finally giving up in his final match is quite poetic, yet it doesn't have a sense of celebration and triumph that fans wanted out of a final match. Cena is one of the most celebrated and beloved pro wrestlers of all time, so fans are bound to get emotional, so it's understandable why there's so much outrage being directed towards WWE and Triple H. A lot of fans have questioned if there would be outrage if Cena passed out rather than tapped out, and it's definitely a topic worth discussing. If Cena passed out, he would have kept his integrity, and his never say die, never give up ethos wouldn't have been shattered in his final ever match. Now, it goes without saying that a lot of the frustration from fans comes from a genuine place, and this frustration has been brewing all year long. WWE's massively let fans and Cena down with the retirement run. Cena had a disastrous heel run, and he was given a number of wasteful matches that took the WWE great for granted. It was also puzzling why WWE only chose 36 dates for Cena this year, when he could have done double that. He was missing from go-home episodes and probably much more, but that's for another video. For a lot of the year, particularly when Cena reverted to his babyface roots, it was almost as if WWE were ready to boot Cena out the door. This was seen with his squash against Brock Lesnar and his 2-week title reign with the IC title. Cena's booking last night hasn't hindered his legacy in any way. In fact, it's furthered the love and admiration fans have for him, and there perhaps will be never another wrestler that evokes such a visceral reaction like Big Match John. But fans were almost ready to riot after John Cena's loss. Now, things could have almost gone catastrophic last night, as the heel heat was so bad on Gunther last night that he needed a ton of extra security to leave the arena. Fan footage on social media shows fans trying to get to Gunther, shouting out profanity, and WWE thankfully provided substantial security to keep the ring general safe. Now, this video is actually crazy. This is the type of heel heat that was present in the 70s and 80s, and Gunther could now be the biggest heel in the entire world. Whilst it's understandable why Gunther is getting a ton of heel heat, personal attacks or even fans threatening violence is a step way too far. At the end of the day, Gunther is just doing his job, and it's always important to separate the wrestler and the human being when it comes to this kind of booking. Man, even 10-year-olds were squaring up to Gunther last night. But now we're apparently in a new era of WWE. Triple H is probably the undisputed king of welcoming fans to a new era, and last night the head of WWE Creative once again ushered in another era. According to the game on the post-show press conference, due to the show featuring the retirement of John Cena as well as the NXT showcases of FEMI, Sol Ruka and others, it officially marked a new era in WWE. Which era are we in again? Oh right, yeah, the Saudi era. Fans are already mocking these comments on social media, as Triple H does have a tendency to overhype the product, which can be ultimately detrimental in the long run. Are we really in a new era of WWE? This will be perhaps the 5th era in the last 5 years. Next up, WWE teases Brock Lesnar vs FEMI. The WWE are officially teasing a huge match between Brock Lesnar and FEMI. Speaking on the post-show last night, Peter Rosenberg asked Triple H about a potential matchup between the two titans, and this is what he had to say. Not everyone is going to take that giant leap to the next level immediately, but Oba is one of those guys where you're instantly thinking about it. You're talking about Brock Lesnar, the ultimate destroyer in this business, and already there's a comparison being made when Oba walks in the door. Just watching FEMI, there's a lot of people you want to see him go against. That's the wonderful thing about it. That's the wonderful thing about NXT. You get to fantasy book these people when they get here and what they can accomplish and achieve. Now, it does appear, at least for now, that Femi will be remaining in NXT. However, we can surely expect a main roster call-up to either Raw or SmackDown in 2026. But we now know Brock Lesnar's final ever opponent. And now that Brock Lesnar is set to retire in 2026, his final opponent will reportedly be Gunther. Now, this report comes from WRKD Wrestling, and this source was the first to report that Gunther would be the one to retire John Cena. And this guy really is becoming the legend killer, right? This is probably the right call from WWE, as the next logical feud for Gunther, if he isn't going to compete for the world title, is a first time ever rivalry with Lesnar. The two may collide at WrestleMania, and they could potentially even have a rematch in one of their main events of SummerSlam in August. Do you think Gunther should be the one to retire Brock Lesnar? But was Bayley caught being unhappy last night? Now, there's some footage that has emerged of Bayley and CM Punk watching the finish of John Cena vs Gunther, and to say that Bayley looks livid would be an understatement. It was likely that Cena tapping out was kept top secret, so a lot of the talent would have had the same emotional reaction as the 19,000+ fans in attendance. However, one superstar could not hold their emotions any longer, as Cody Rhodes cried after John Cena's retirement. Cody Rhodes got extremely emotional and even tearful when talking about John Cena's final ever WWE match. Cena's career officially ended when he lost to Gunther, and afterwards Cody was interviewed during the post-show. He struggled to speak without getting choked up as he reflected on Cena's legacy and impact on wrestling. Cody praised Cena for everything he did in the industry, saying Cena did everything right and left the business better than he found it. He also spoke about the respect of the crowd, noting that the fans chant "Let's go Cena" instead of booing. I'm not sure what the hell Cody was listening to after the match, but he said that he was honored to be part of the show and called Cena one of the greatest of all time, highlighting both his accomplishments and his influence on others in WWE. Right now, there's some big responsibility on Cody Rhodes, who's going to be the man to carry John Cena's legacy forward as WWE's biggest babyface. Next up, various stars paid tribute to John Cena, and there were a number of stars last night who gave their tributes to John Cena, not just on WWE, but on social media as well. One particular tribute that stood out was one that was by The Undertaker, as he discussed his first ever interaction with John Cena on television. "Nice job, those were the words I said to you 23 years ago when you debuted. Now on the day of a final match, I say again, nice job. Hustle, loyalty and respect is more than just a catchphrase. For 23 years, you've lived by those words. Your passion for our business and dedication to our fan base is unmatched. To have shared the ring with you and have been a part of your journey has been an honor. As your in-ring career winds down, be proud of the body of work and the memories you've created. Enjoy the last ride tonight, my friend, and one final time, nice job." Now, other non-WWE superstars would also make their tributes, including Edge, who posted a screen of their time on South Park. Dolph Ziggler would also post a throwback to him and Cena in the ring, and there were many more, which we probably can't cover all in this video. And finally, a WWE legend not retiring. Our final story today looks at the WWE status of Rey Mysterio. 2026 is looking to be the year of retirements in WWE, as Chris Jericho, AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar all expected to have their final matches in the company. However, one name that is often rumored to retire is Rey Mysterio. Yet weirdly, there's been no confirmation that the Hall of Famer plans to retire. We finally have an official report on this, and it comes from Fightful Select, who reported via Q&A that Mysterio currently has no plans to hang up his mask. The discussion of Rey Mysterio retiring seems to be more fan-driven than anything else. I've never heard any real indication, hint, or plan that a Rey Mysterio retirement is imminent. They've been very happy with him from a wrestler and ambassador standpoint, and he has quite a lot of time left on his deal, including possible injury time. But speaking of retirements, another name confirmed his long-term future last night, and that was reigning world champion CM Punk. Speaking on the post-show, he stated, "When I make allusions to the end of whatever my career is going to look like, it's not because I feel like I'm there. It's because I look back at the entirety of my career, and there's a lot more road behind me than there is in front of me. Trust me, I'm the champion for a reason, and I'm here to stay, and nobody's going to change that. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Sorry if that disappoints. Actually, I'm not sorry. To hell with you. If that upsets you, I'm glad." Now, this is very positive news, as it means we'll have Mysterio and Punk competing in the ring for many years to come. One person who was probably contemplating coming out of retirement, though, was Kurt Angle. You could definitely see the look on his face that he's ready for one more, right? Well, his wife shut that down immediately, as she tweeted, "Nope, you're retired. Don't even try to think about it, Kurt." I'm sure Angle could have one more, right? But there you have it, folks. The wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.